Hello everybody, welcome back to the Tigers, Season 9. Season 9 is Season 9 we're on. Still in League 1. We didn't get relegated last episodes, even though it was close. It was close. This is the season preview for this season. We haven't played a game yet. Bookies predict us to finish 13th, which is not too bad. The board just want us to avoid relegation. Usually it's fight bravely against relegation, but this year it's to avoid relegation. And I'm happy with that, 40-1. We're playing CHARLTON today, and CHARLTON bottom. Predicted to finish bottom anyway. 800-1. But we have made a lot of transfers. We are about to bring in Alfie Egan from QPR. He looks very good. His mentors are very good. Very good. He's been at QPR for 3 years, started his career at Wimbledon, been on loan to Sutton, went to Villa for 425k. He's probably the reason why Villa went into administration. Played a handful of games for Villa in the Championship, went to QPR for a fraction of the money, once again played less games, a handful of games in the Championship, so I think that's quite a good buy for a League 1 team. He's played games, League 1, League 2, a few games up in the Championship, and he's done alright. He's got average ratings, so he's done alright. But he hasn't come in just yet, so we're not going to see him today. But as you can see, we've made a lot of transfers. Obviously, the total for the spend at the moment, it's 525 we've spent, 575 we've sold. Obviously, with the Egan, I think it's 105 grand the deal. So obviously the spend is going to be a bit more, but I'm happy with that. We've got money in the bank because of the friendlies. But let's get started with the outs, shall we? Isaac Hutchinson has gone to Villa for 10k. Bit part player last season, didn't play much centre midfielder. Jezame has gone for Bradford for 20k. He was good. It's just he played well for us, but his star rating wasn't great. And yeah, I just thought I'll get rid of him. So we sold him for 20,000. Sold Hutchinson for 10,000. We sold Alex Finney to MK Dons for 175,000. Decent centre back, but he was getting on a bit, and I wanted to bring in a younger person who was just as good, and we've done that, in my opinion. Andy Collette, we've taken a massive loss on him, but we've sold him to Luton for 105k. Once again, older. I wanted to get someone in who was just as good as him, and we never really decided whether he was a left winger or a left back. So, oh well, we made a loss, but we've made up elsewhere. Donny has gone to Bradford for 4k. Psycho, our backup keeper, has gone to Huddersfield for 2k. It's quite cheap there. Ryan Godding, the centre midfielder, he went to Bradford for 155k. Now, the only reason why I did it, I wanted to keep him, but I realised he was on like 5 grand a week, and I've managed to cut the budget quite a lot. I think I've cut it by like 5 grand, so by 5-6 grand, so his wages, maybe even 10 grand, something like that. So I've done well on the wages, so I got rid of him. I feel like I've got someone better in on loan, so that's decent. Josh Yorworth has gone out for 40k. He was an old backup centre back, wasn't going to get much game time, so we thought we'd cash in on him. Alex Ryder has gone to Arsenal. Now, you won't know who Aaron Ryder is. He was one of these kids we brought in last season, and who we then sent out straight on loan. He went to Macclesfield. I did offer him a contract, and then a couple of days later, Man United came in for him. I was like, okay. And then Arsenal came in for him. I was like, well, he's not going to stay then, is he? I was going to send him out on loan anyway. So, yeah, he's gone to Arsenal on a free. And then we sent a few people out on loan. A few names we won't recognise because we brought them in. We've done the same as last season. Bring in young players and then send them straight out on loan. Jamie Gunn, same as Ryder. He was one of these players that we brought in on a free last season. Loaned him out, and now he's gone to Fulham for 60k. It's just pure profit, and we haven't paid a penny of their wages, really, because when they're sent on the loan, the team is spending 100% of their wage budget. So that's fine by me. If we send him on for 60 grand, obviously Ryder went out on a free, which is unfortunate, but he's gone on to bigger and better things. So that's fine. Into the ins now. We'll start off with the frees. We won't go straight into the money we've spent. We will. You'll recognise, if you've watched this series for a while, you'll recognise Yeboah Yamakwa. He was with us in the Conference National. Yeah, 8 games in the Conference National. Wasn't very good. If I remember, if I remember to, I will put up his stats in a screen. I'll show you his stats, and then I'll put his stats when I first signed him next to in the next screen or something. But we sold him on to Ipswich for 16k. I feel he was, at the time, I feel like he was all right. He was an all right player. He was young, but he wasn't playing very well, and he wasn't getting in the team. So we got rid. He went to Ipswich. He spent a load of time on loan at Havant and Dulwich Hamlet. He then went to Barnet on a free, and we bought him back for 300k. Now you're thinking, why have we bought him back for 300k? He doesn't look like he set the world alight, and that's because he looks good. 17 marking, 16 heading, 12 tackling. He's got decent, like, his bravery and aggression could be higher, but where they need to be for central defenders, it's good. Like, alright, his jump and reach isn't the best, but 5'10", I kind of want him to cover. I kind of want him to not be the one jumping for balls and whatnot. Anyway, his physicals could improve, but he's 24, they could slightly go up in the time. He's got room to improve as well. So I've brought him in. He's playing international football for Ghana as well. So what more can you ask for, really? He looks good. He looks decent. 300k, like I said, we bought him. We'll just tell you the other one we've spent money on then. Ollie Harfield from Coventry. 215k we bought him for. 3-star current, 3-star potential. Looks solid, if I'm honest. He spent a long time at Coventry. Got some decent ratings there. Always played in League 2. And we needed a left back. Who was our left back last year? It was Laurie, Collette, and someone else. Can't remember. But we haven't got them anyway this season. So we brought in Harfield. We've still got Lurie. So those two will fight it out. Grant Lynch. Now, I didn't even scout this guy. I was just looking for centre midfielders. And this guy, I sorted like attributes out, and there was this kid at the bottom, 18 years old, from Brighton. I was like, I'll have a quick look. He hadn't had a scout report, so I didn't know how good he was. I was like, just click on him, see how he is. He looks very, very good. He's going to be playing as centre midfielder, as an attacking playmate, advanced playmaker. He looks deep. His mentors for an 18-year-old are not too bad. Good physicals as well. Technicals could improve, but he's got the technicals now in the stats that he needs to. So he's going to be some player. We've got him on loan from Brighton. We're not paying a single penny of his wages, I don't think. He's even played a few games. Yeah, we're not paying a single penny. He's even played a few games for Brighton and got a decent rating as well in the Premier League. So I feel like that is an absolutely excellent pickup. Hopefully we can have him on loan for 2 years. That would be great. Jonathan Bonds. Some people might recognise him. He plays for Reading at the moment, is he? No, he plays for Peterborough, apparently. On loan at Peterborough this season. So I assume they're signing him off on a free or something like that. Experienced keeper. Obviously, we let Psycho go, so we need to get someone in. So we brought in a decent backup. He's better than Psycho. So yeah, he started his career at Watford, went to our rivals Forest Green. I didn't know that at the time. Dagenham, Redbridge, Reading, Gillingham. Spent a few years at Posh. Then went to Bolton for 205k. Never really played for them, but he was a backup keeper in the Championship. And now he's with us. So I'm quite happy with that. He looks good. Like, he looks very good, in my opinion. He's going to be fighting with Ted Smith for that spot. Nick Moody, obviously we had him on loan last season. He's come in on a free, just because of the amount of goals he scored. There was if you remember, the top goal scorer in League 1 last season, I think is Vernon, the Mansfield guy who we saw in the last episode. I wanted to bring him in, but I didn't manage to bring him in because Mansfield are keeping hold of him, which is understandable. And then I looked at the top goal scorer in League 2 as well. Can't remember his name, but he was on loan from Derby, and Derby wanted to keep him for first team football as well. So it says a lot about him. But we have brought in, you've probably seen him, Troy Deeney. We'll look at him now. We've brought him in on a free, 37 years old now. Obviously, he can't really run. He's got good natural fitness, so they haven't dropped too much. But he's our captain now. He's very good. Obviously, he played for Bristol Rovers last year in here. He's scored goals for them. So it was a bit of a no-brainer, really. He's a target man, determination 90. He's a leader. He's going to be tutoring young players. Yeah, I mean, it was a no-brainer. Come in as an elderly veteran of the squad, teach the youngsters, and maybe bang in some goals for us as well. Flynn Downs, defensive midfielder, we're going to play him in that anchor man role. He looks very good, if I'm honest. If we need him to, he can play in the centre of midfielder. 3-star, current 3-star potential. Started his career at Ipswich, spent a long time there. Went to Oldham, Sheffield United. So Sheffield United spent 220k on him and then released him straight after. But their loss is our game, as they say. And then we've got a few of these players. Keith Toll, he's obviously gone on loan to Havant. Nathan Harding, also gone on loan to Havant. Mason Lees, he's a young kid who I was going to send out on loan, but I just couldn't find another defensive midfielder. So I've brought him in on a free, and he's just going to be back up to Downs. It's not ideal, but I just couldn't find another good defensive midfielder. Lewis Thompson, he's gone out on loan to Fylde. Troy Deeney we looked at. Nick Davis, a centre-back on loan from Burnley. Looks very good. Once again, he's got the stats where it needs to be. Decent physical as well. He's 5'9", so he's a bit on the short side. I won't be playing him and I've forgotten his name. The guy we used to have, 5'10" guy. We shouldn't be playing them together, but both guys look very good, very good. We got him on loan from Burnley. I don't think we're paying any of his wages. Nope. So that's good. Jordan Martin. This one was a bit of a mistake. Backup right back, if anything, because we needed one. He's got good physicals, but look at the star ratings: 2-star current, 3-star potential. He's not going to be playing too much because I think we've got 6 loanees in, and obviously you're only allowed 5 in the squad. So I think he's going to be the one that drops out. But we needed a backup right back, and once again I just couldn't find one. And then Rossi Morford, left winger. He looks alright, looks decent. Finishing could be better, but he's got room to improve. 3-star current, 4-star potential, fairly loyal, runs down the ball on the left and avoids using the weaker foot, which is fine because he's going to be a winger and shouldn't be cutting in. Guess that's why his finishing is low. But yeah, he looks good. Where did we get him from? MK Dons. So that's the transfers. We're on about 12 minutes now, so we should have time for a quick game if I cut it up enough. Not too much change to the formation, if I'm honest. I need to make some more formations. I forgot to do that. It's clever of me. But we're just going to go for a standard 4-3-3, like the standard one you get every game. Just because I wanted that DM and I wanted to keep the wingers, and this seemed like the logical option. So we got Ted Smith in goal, Harfield, Nick Davis, Carter, who you haven't seen. He was one of the guys that went out on loan last season. We're bringing him as he's going to be a backup centre-back. But obviously, with Nick Davis playing, we're not going to have Yeboah in. So Carter is going to be playing today. Give him a chance. Why not? We've got Downs, centre defensive midfield. Lynch and Kirby, centre mid. Morford and Ray, and then Moody up top. Which loans? Danny Davis we renewed the loan of. Charlie Burke we renewed the loan of. And that's it. We couldn't get Corey Young back. I want to see where he's gone, actually, because I really wanted him. Was that not his name? Corey Young? There he is. He's playing for West Ham now, so that says a lot. West Ham are good. I wanted to keep him, but he just wasn't interested in joining me. So fair enough for him to go over to West Ham. He might get some game time there. You never know. Might be able to get him on loan, but we've got enough loan players now. So yeah, let's get straight into this game. Like I said, this team's counter-structured, more direct passing, and shoot on sight, because I want loads and loads of shots. This is the team we're coming up against today, and as you can see, they've got 2 of our former players. Ajibola Elise on the bench, who was a centre-back, I believe. He played for us in the Conference National. It was a while back. He played a few times for us. Sold him off 16k apparently. He's now playing for CHARLTON, and the man himself, Ben Tilney, who came up with us through the Conference National and League Two. He was our starting left back for a good number of years. I'm happy to see him. Happy to see him again, Ben Tilney. He was very good for us. They're playing a 4-2-3-1, so that might play into our hands with the defensive midfielder, but we'll have to wait and see. Go out there and impress me, I guess. We'll do the individual, like, I have faith in you team talks just to get everyone on a green. It's done its job, and we shall go. Charlton, like I said, are predicted to finish bottom. We're predicted to finish safely in 13th in mid-table. So I'm hoping we can do a bit better than 13th, but I feel like for the sake of the team, we need another year, maybe another 2 years in League One, just because the last couple of seasons have shown that we're not quite there. And maybe this year we can keep this squad, maybe add a few additions in, but this is the squad. I'm liking this squad at the moment. The star ratings have now fixed themselves, so obviously when you go up through the leagues, your star ratings are a little bit buggered because your reputation isn't as good as the league you're in, I guess. So I think that's how star ratings work. Charlton have gone 1-0 up, 7 minutes in. Rasselu. This isn't going to go well if they're predicted to finish bottom and they beat us. That's not going to look good, is it? But yeah, everyone's now, it's saying on the reports, everyone's a League One standard, or pretty much everyone's League One standard, which is fantastic, because last season and the season before we had players who were Conference National standards. That was what their reports were saying, even though they were like 3.5-star ratings, they're Conference National standard. So it's now fixed itself, and hopefully everyone is League One standard. Right, we've got a corner here. Morford with the corner. I've just realised I haven't actually picked who takes the corner and whatnot yet, so we might have to do that after this game. Ray's crossed it in. Keeper's collected it. The same with this season. I'm not going to play as many games on camera. I'm going to bring you the teams that we haven't seen yet, just to get the seat, because obviously we're just looking at a mid-table finish. I just want to fly through the season and get it done as quick as possible. And then when it's an interesting season, like a playoff or another relegation, hopefully not, we can then play a few more games on camera. It's just over the bar, and we'll have to show teams that we've seen before. But yeah, that's what I want to do, is just show you the teams that we haven't played yet on camera, and then it's a bit more variety on the channel, isn't it? Instead of playing, like, we played Carlisle like 5 times on camera. Ray's in here, and Rossi Morford, the debutant, crosses into Thomas Ray, who gets his first goal of the season. I think this might be a big season for Thomas Ray. Obviously, we got Glover, who's currently injured. He was our star man going into that latter part of last season. But I think if Thomas Ray can play well, this can be a massive season for him. Massive season. Right, so that is half-time. It's 1-1. I think Kirby picked up a knock during that later parts of the half. So we're going to look to take him off. See who we've got on the bench. Danny Davis can come on. Sean Smith is on the bench. You wouldn't have seen him. He's another guy that we sent out on loan last season. I believe he was the Conference National top goal scorer, or one of the top goal scorers. So we thought, brilliant, we'll keep him on. He can be our third choice striker behind Deeney and Moody. We're going to bring on Danny Davis for Kirby, as Kirby picked up that knock. Should we swap these two around? Yeah, they prefer that. And we're going to go on standard, I think, and start the second half, just to, start to get to them a bit more and start to get back into this game. I know it's 1-1, but they're predicted to finish bottom, and sometimes the bookies don't lie. Right, Will Hurley's just picked up a knock, and we haven't got the right back on the bench. That's always good. I think Carter can do a job out there. Yeah, perfect. And are we going to have to do it? We're going to have to bring on Lloyd Reynolds, because I can't have Yeboah and Nick Davis in the same team. Oh, he's 5'10" as well. You know what? I'm going to do it. We're gonna have a centre back partnership of 5'9" or 5'10". See how it does. It can only go one of two ways, ladies and gentlemen. It can only go one of two ways. Right, we're 68 minutes in now, and I'm thinking about making my final substitution. It's going to be the new boy, Lynch. He hasn't had the best of games, which I'm not too fussed at the moment. It's only first game of the season. We are going to bring on the man, Troy Deeney, because we're going to change formation. We're going to go to the 4-2-3-1. Or shall we go... We're going to go... We're risking it, boys. We're risking it. We're going to go 4-2-2-2. We're going to bring on Troy Deeney. Give him his debut. Have him... He likes to be a support, so he can be on support. Nick Moody can be advanced forward. He scored a few goals as advanced forward. And Dan, he's more of a ball winning. We're going to have you on support. Yeah. Might leave us a bit open, but I want to go for it. They are CHARLTON. They're predicted to finish bottom, like I keep on saying. Right, Noel's got a free kick here to Gore, who's injured. It's starting to lag a little bit. I'm not liking this. It hasn't done this all game. Right, Gore has chased it. He is injured, so can we get someone out to him? Win that. Good win there. And Deeney's got the ball. Plays Moody. Play it out to the wing. Oh, it's hit the back of Troy Deeney's head. It's hit the back of Troy Deeney. Carter's picked the ball back up. Ray, decent ball over to Mooney. Can he win there? Win there. It's a poor back pass. Troy Deeney's there. Troy Deeney, on his debut, has put away the rebound. Tactical genius, me. Tactical genius. 2-1. That was a great ball from Ray, I believe it was. Yeah, Ray to Moody. Battling with the defenders. A poor back pass from the centre-back. Not enough power on it. Keeper manages to save the shot. Manages to get the hands on the second shot, but he just pushed it into his own net. And it's 2-1. And we're going to drop it back to control, I think. It was a decent counter-attack, though. I like that. Decent counter-attack. We did lose the ball at one point, but we got it back quickly, and then we pounced. We played the ball over the top, and it looks like CHARLTON might score it. Samuels heads it over the bar. That was a let-off there. That was a let-off. But I'm liking this. If we can not concede. Samuels again wins the header. Dangerous stuff there. Dangerous stuff. If we can keep hold of the result. In fact, I can say it and not be too upset. I'm happy with the response we had from going 1-0 down so early. We've got a very young team. So some teams, when they're young, they might completely bottle it, and we could have lost this 3-0. In fact, in past seasons, we could have lost this 3-0. But we kept at it. We scored... who scored the equaliser? Thomas Ray. It was a good cross in, wasn't it? And then we just kept on plugging. I feel like, not to toss myself off or anything, but I feel like I did the changes, like going attacking and whatnot at the right moment. Bringing Troy Deeney on obviously changed the game. He got the rebound goal, having the two strikers up front. And we've won the game 2-1. And I realise this has been a long episode already, so I'm going to end it here. If you like that, please like. If you are new around here, please subscribe. And I shall see you again in the next episode of Tigers. Thank you and goodbye.